Hello and welcome to the Double T Insider. I'm Caitlin Kravick alongside Brett Brown, bringing you the inside access into Texas Tech athletics.
In this week's episode, we spotlight Red Raider Volleyball's junior outside hitter, Jenna Allen.
And later in the show, we speak with a coach who has a true passion for the game, assistant coach of the defensive line, John Scott Jr.
We sit down with Red Raider soccer's goalkeeper, Lauren Watson.
In this week's On the Clock, we feature Red Raider football safety, Keenan Ward.
This past weekend, Red Raider football went to Manhattan, Kansas to take on the K-State Wildcats. Tech didn't score its first touchdown until the end of the first half, a 22-yard pass to junior wide receiver Jakeem Grant. Notable receptions from the first half came from Reginald Davis and Jordan Davis.
Tech's defense made a couple of plays during the first half, making a few noteworthy sacks, but K-State's offense played well and took control. Senior quarterback Jake Waters led the Wildcats into the second half with a lead of 24-7 over the Red Raiders. Early into the third quarter, Waters threw a 14-yard pass to Tyler Lockett, adding a few more points on the board over the Red Raiders.
Heading into the final quarter of the game, Davis Webb threw a 19-yard pass to Jakeem Grant, making the score 31-13. However, that is the last touchdown the Red Raiders would gain. K-State would score 2 more touchdowns, gaining a victory of 45-13 over Texas Tech.
When we come back, we speak with senior midfielder Paige Strahan.
Double T Insider is brought to you in part by Plains Capital Bank, a proud supporter of Texas Tech football. Ride with the good guys at Plains Capital Bank. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Visit RedRaidersContest.game to register to win cool fan experiences. And by Texas Ford Dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas.
Welcome back to the Double T Insider. I'm Alexandra Haley. This week, we sat down with senior forward Paige Strahan.
My name is Paige Strahan. I'm from Odessa, Texas. My major is Human Development and Family Studies, and I'm a senior. Our off seasons are always about soccer, but too, they're always about team building, and they're always about building relationships and developing a core that really loves to work together. So I would say that this last off season, we always do team building stuff, and we always make sure that we're really connected with each other, and I think that's what makes for such a great season for us. Obviously, the soccer is a major play in the skills and the talent that Tom always brings in, but I would say really the relationships that we build with each other are something that set us above every other team. I talk about relationships a lot because I think that's one of the best ways to interact with teammates. It's really easy to be in a leadership role and to think that you have control, but I would really love to build relationships with people so that we can do it, together. I'm a senior now, and so that kind of comes with a lot of more responsibilities. And so I think the difference is just really that, the responsibility factor, and also I feel a lot more comfortable because this is my 4th year here now, and so I'm kind of like the oldest one on the field. It's kind of different from being the youngest. I think that you can just expect a team that's just willing to come out and to fight for every single game. I think you can expect a team that's not going to be content with where they are and content, or really a team that's going to become obsessed with, rankings and stuff, because this year we've broken some records within that degree, and I think that those are all great, but we're really focused on taking each game at a time so that we can reach something much, much greater than just the rankings we've achieved. I'm going to miss just the atmosphere of being on a college soccer team, but I think most importantly I'm going to miss the bonds and the friendship that I have. I know they'll all be lasting friendships, but it's like a family when you're on a team, so I'm going to miss that. Jaylene is someone I go to a lot, and Bree Young is on one of our volunteer coaches, and we talk to each other. Even our strength and conditioning coach, Katie Munger, they're all really inspirational to me, and I even talk to past teammates like Haley Hagsma and Connor if I have something going on, because like I said, it's lasting friendships, and they're all just really inspirational. You look at the things that you remember, and they're never really things that you thought would stick out in your head. And so, there's funny stories about Tom that we always laugh about, and funny stories between, teammates, like, oh, remember when you did this? And so there's a lot of just little things. In so many ways, it's just showed me how really anything is possible. You need to set high goals for yourself and then reach them. And I think that that's what Texas Tech soccer has taught me. It's just that there's nothing out of your reach if you're willing to work hard and really push yourself for it.
Coming up next, we spotlight Red Raider Volleyball's junior outside hitter, Jenna Allen.
I'm Jenna Allen. I am a junior outside, and I'm from Louisville, Texas. I transferred in about a year and a half ago now, and I knew as soon as I got here that I would love it. They were so welcoming, and I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go. And one of my best friends from high school, Nicole Radgel, who is a senior this year, was able to talk for me and kind of talk me into coming here. She didn't have to talk me into it, but it was kind of like I had her and a few other people that I knew that went here, and it just felt right. She said, if there's one thing you need to know about Tech and this program is you're gonna love the team, and that's all I needed to hear. My team is awesome. Like, all the girls are just, there's so many different personalities that it's just so fun when we're all put in one room or, you know, little groups. And so when we travel, we have fun. Like, we can be in the most boring place ever, but we're gonna have fun. And so just being able to be with them and, you know, no matter where we are, say we're in a layover in Dallas, Texas, you know, we have 3 hours to blow. Like, we're running around that airport, like, just doing stuff. Everyone has a pretty cool song when they go back to serve. You know, it's like upbeat and really fun. And then I go back to serve and it's a Harry Potter theme song. At first, everyone was like, wait, is that her song, or are they just playing that to be funny? I love Harry Potter, I love reading, and I love watching the movies, but I just thought it'd be kind of funny to hear, you know, all these hip hop songs and then Harry Potter theme song come on. I had people come up to me after the game and be like, was that yours? I'm like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, it makes sense. To be able to be considered a leader is really awesome, and I'm actually in a leadership class right now, so I'm learning a lot about myself and then how to inspire others and bring the team together, because that's what it's about. It's about the team and playing for each other. Expect us to come out and win games, no matter what game it is. It could be TCU, it could be Iowa State, it could be Texas. Being ranked last in the Big 12 was honestly the best thing for us, because no one's gonna expect it, and we're gonna prove a lot of people wrong. If you've watched any of our games, you know that we have fight this year. We've come from a deficit of at least 7 points. We came up and beat a team when we were down 11-5 in the fifth set, and we went on a 10-point run. They got 2 points. So this year, we have a lot of heart and we have a lot of fight, and we're ready to win a lot of Big 12 games and go to the tournament.
Coming up after the break, we go one-on-one with defensive line coach John Scott Jr.
This week, the Double T Insider sat down with Red Raider football's defensive line coach, John Scott Jr.
The thing that I've noticed with this coaching staff is there's a couple of things, but number one, I would say, is the closeness amongst the coaches. You know, I'm an old Southern boy, and I came from Georgia, and you would have thought after 2 days of being here with the staff that we would have been together all of our lives. And then when you get on a staff where you got a bunch of guys that have played here, it's so special to the place, and so you're able to get the uniqueness of Texas Tech and that inside perspective, and I think that's special as well. And I'm going to say this: you're not going to find a more quality and better head coach than what Coach Kingsbury is. I mean, just people, you know, see all the glamour and glitz and all that stuff, but they don't see how he's a tireless and relentless worker, his drive and the staff's drive to be successful. You don't see that, and it's very unique. You know, I'm a very, very energetic and passionate coach. I learned from a great coach, Brent Pride, who's the assistant head coach at Penn State. Once I got to college, man, Coach Pride, that was my guy, and I believed in him. If he told me to run through a wall right now today, I would do it with no questions asked. He just made such an influence on my life as a coach, and that's the way I want to be. And Brent was very passionate. He was energetic, and you just wanted to play for a guy like that. He taught us how to be a technician at what we do, and those are the things that I try to get my guys to do, is to be technicians and to play as hard as you can play. If you do that, you're going to have a great chance to be successful. So I'm a firm believer. Play with a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and I like to teach my guys. I would say right now we're progressing. You know, the one thing that myself and sometimes people you fail to realize, when you have you bring in junior college guys that are new to the program, and in a lot of ways they're like a high school kid with more mature bodies. So they're learning the game from a whole different technical aspect. The game is a lot faster on this level. So I would say right now we're progressing. I mean, I know we have not played our best football yet, but we're getting there. And that's the thing that you can ask those guys is to every game you go out to get better. Every practice you go out there, every rep you get, let's get better the next rep. And that's what we're seeing. And some guys are growing up a little bit quicker than the other guys, but what we're seeing after that last game, some guys are progressing, and we're going to get to where we want to be. I would say number one is I want a guy with a motor. And what I mean by that, I want a guy that plays, whether the ball is right there in front of him or the ball is 20 yards down the field, I want a guy that plays with maximum effort. Because if you play with maximum effort, you can get by with a lot of stuff. Number two, I want a guy that has toughness. You know, this game today is about being tough. I mean, you know, look at the old lines that we see and the big running backs that we see. It's a physical game, so you got to have guys that are going to be physical, going to use their hands, going to come off the ball, play with great effort. And I would say the third thing, not the least thing, is character. I think your character as a player and as a person, it all correlates. If you've got a guy with high character off the field doing the right things, then he's going to be in his gap in 4th and 1. He's going to execute his assignment at a critical time. So I think character is the third critical piece of that. And, you know, along with that, you got to have passion. Guys that love football. You know, some guys it's cool to wear the jersey and, hey, I'm on the football team. But I want guys that love the game, that appreciate what the game can do, how it can change your life, and what the game is about.
After the break, we go on the clock with Red Raider football's Keenan Ward. Get your timers set. The Double T Insider is about to go on the clock with Keenan Ward.
Double T Insider here, and we're about to go on the clock with Keenan Ward, a game where I'll give Keenan 60 seconds and 10 scenarios that he has to answer. Okay, 60 seconds on the clock, please. If I could have any superpower, it would be to...
fly.
If I played any other sport besides football, it would be...
Baseball.
My favorite type of music to work out to is...
Rap.
My teammate with the worst singing voice is...
Kenny Williams.
Before a game, I always have to...
Pray.
My favorite home-cooked meal is...
Chicken fried steak.
My favorite football hero is...
Ray Lewis.
When I was growing up, my favorite cartoon character was...
SpongeBob.
My all-time favorite football movie is...
Friday Night Lights.
My go-to selfie pose is...
Light skin.
All right, congratulations, you beat the clock. Congratulations. For the Double T Insider, I'm Caitlin Kravick, and we just went on the clock with Keenan Ward.
This week, we sat down with sophomore goalkeeper Lauren Watson.
My name is Lauren Watson. I'm a goalie from the Woodlands, Texas, and I'm a redshirt sophomore. It's a good feeling, like knowing that you're playing for Texas Tech. It's awesome because you know you're playing for your sister right next to you, and we're all in for each other, and we're all like, you know, selfless, and I think it's just an awesome program to play for. We are together a lot, like when we're not traveling, but when we are traveling, it's, you know, we are with each other 24/7, so, you know, we're able to get closer, and I think it's awesome, you know, being on the road and being able to beat teams at their home field, so I think that's also an awesome thing to do too. I usually, of course, listen to my music, and then as a team we'll listen to music. I like to listen to a lot of like pump up music, like rap songs, and I think I pray a lot. I pray during the national anthem because I think it's important to give all your glory to God, and yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I would say Paige, our captain, she's such a hard worker, and I just look up to her in all different kinds of ways. You know, she's always winning balls on the field. She doesn't give up on the ball, and she just knows what to say, and she's our spiritual leader as well, and she's just overall a great leader, and I really look up to her. For this year, I think my expectations was to just always work hard and be a good teammate and constantly pushing everyone on the field because my position requires, you know, to be organizing and all this. So I think, you know, my expectations were just to, you know, play hard and give everything I have on the field and just make sure that everyone's, you know, doing what they need to do and be a leader in that aspect. I mean, every game in the Big 12 is going to be exciting. I want to work hard every single game, But I would say probably West Virginia will be a very exciting game because they've been doing well this year, and so have we, so I think it'll be a good matchup. In the years past, we've had a high standard for this team, and I think that being able to not lose is, holding up that standard, and I think that's where it comes from, just like in the years past, and having the right mentality about it and every game, and I just think that's what it's mostly about, is just growing as a team. But we try and focus on one game at a time because we can't reach that goal without focusing one game at a time. But I think just having the right mentality every game and just going all in every game, that will help us, eventually lead us to a championship.
Coming up next, we're bringing you our tweets of the week and the upcoming games in Texas Tech athletics.
Welcome back to the Double T Insider. I'm Luke Heath. Each week we pick the best tweets about Texas Tech athletics and air them on the show. This week we're featuring tweets about Texas Tech soccer, Red Raider football, and Texas Tech volleyball. Our first tweet comes from Josh Blessing, who said, "Davis Webb, keep your head up, man. Don't listen to the critics. Focus on getting better every day and prove them wrong next Saturday. #Wreck 'em." Our second tweet comes from Amy Grandy, who tweeted at volleyball saying, "Congrats on the big W to my favorite volleyball team, TTU V-Ball. Way to beat Baylor in 5. And our third tweet comes from Jenna Allen, who tweeted a photo saying, "Ball is life. So proud of this team for an amazing comeback win. #grind time." Our next tweet comes from Laura Schnett-Goki, who said, "Game day, TTU versus OSU at the Walker Soccer Complex. #TTU Soccer and #Wreck 'em." And our fifth tweet comes from ex-football player Terrence Bullitt, who said, "Tough night, better times ahead of us, but still loyal to my team. Like I said, no doubt TTU Kingsbury and TTU Smith has it going in the right direction." That's all the tweets for this week's episode, but be sure to follow the Double T Insider on Twitter and check back with us next week when your tweet could just be featured on the show. Now let's take a look at Texas Tech's upcoming games.
Thursday, the Red Raider volleyball team will travel to Austin as they face the University of Texas. This will be the first of 2 meetings between the Big 12 rivals. Texas Tech soccer is headed to Morgantown for a matchup with West Virginia this Friday. The match will begin a 3-game road trip for the Red Raiders with kickoff set for 6 p.m. Central. Saturday, Red Raider football takes on West Virginia from Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas. Kickoff is set for 11 a.m. Central and can be seen on Fox Sports 1. Texas Tech tennis will be in Mansfield, Texas as they compete in the ITF Futures of Mansfield tournament Saturday. Competition is expected to last all day. This time next Wednesday, the Texas Tech volleyball team will be heading to Norman as they prepare to face the University of Oklahoma. First set is scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. Central.
The Double T Insider returns right after the break.
Double T Insider was brought to you in part by UMC Health System. It's our hospital. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Visit RedRaidersContest.game to register to win cool fan experiences. Red Raider Club. Your support, their effort, our fearless champions. And by Texas Ford Dealers. Visit your Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Double T Insider. Thanks so much for watching.
Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date with Texas Tech athletics. For Caitlin Kravick, I'm Brett Brown, and until next time, guns up.